This is for you if you want to grow on LinkedIn and you are a business owner or an entrepreneur. This presentation is going to be perfect for you if you want to attract top clients. I am not an outbound strategist, which means that I'm not going to be telling you to DM hundreds of people. I'm not going to be telling you to cold call anybody. You want to share your story on top podcasts, or you want to grow your own podcast. Get speaking engagements and get invited to speak on big stages. And Shankar was on a huge stage, one of the biggest auditoriums in San Antonio, Texas. He's my business partner. And that came from an opportunity just through visibility on LinkedIn. Collaborate with other top leaders and creators, because as your influence grows and your network grows on LinkedIn, your following grows, your visibility grows, so will your ability to leverage that so that you can collaborate with other people who have their own visibility, their own network, because you have something to offer them. And if you obviously want to sell more with just less effort and get the right people onto your profile. So this is not for you if you're not a business owner, you are not willing to get in front of the camera, and you're looking for a magic pill or automated lead generation solution that does not require any of your time or effort. Why this is different? I walk the walk. I've done this over the last 4 years. Going to my LinkedIn profile is kind of the evidence. You only need 2 things to sell. You need an offer and you need a person. We try to make it super complicated, but you just need a person and an offer. Now, if I'm a vegetarian, I'm probably not going to buy steak. So it's not just getting a person, it's getting the right person for your offer. So to drastically increase your chance of success in business, it depends on this one thing, which is your ability to attract more of the right people to your offer. It's not just necessarily more people, but it's more of the right people. In today's training, what we're going to do is literally create a strategy where you will be able to do this. Because if you just run with the optimization of your profile, the content, the live events, what you could be doing is getting attention, but not getting conversion, which basically means that you're getting exposure to a lot of people, but either A, they're not the right people, or B, you're not resonating with them in a way where they actually want to pay you. LinkedIn is a tool that could help you do that. I'm not here to tell you that LinkedIn is magical fairyland and that this is going to be easy and that you won't have to do any work. That's not the reality, but it is one of the most powerful tools, in my opinion, that could help you attract more of the right people to your offer. And the reason is because if I were to enter a market, I don't want to enter a red ocean where people are killing each other and where it's going to be hard to stand out. I want to enter a blue ocean. And LinkedIn could be your blue ocean because only about 1% of people post original content weekly. This is them posting their content, not reposting some other person's content. And LinkedIn currently has 1 billion active users. There's 1% of people just taking all of the attention. There's less competition. On Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on wherever, there are 1 million people that probably already positioned with hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, and whatever it is that you do, they're taking the market share every single day. But on LinkedIn, there's probably not that many people that are even posting or doing it right. Not only that, but the people, remember, getting the right people to your offer increases your chance of success in business, just in general. Part of the right people are people that can afford your offer. The chances of someone being able to afford your offer on LinkedIn increase because they have double the buying power. Users on LinkedIn, just in general, have double the buying power. This is proven by data compared to other social media platforms. Not only is there less competition for you to get attention if you actually start showing up, but the people that you're getting attention from make more money and can afford your offer. 4 out of 5 of people on LinkedIn are decision makers. You can get on a call with the person you need to talk to instead of having to go through 3 people before you get to them. You can close deals faster. And since 4 out of 5 people are decision makers on LinkedIn, a lot of other things can happen as a byproduct of that. Introductions, referrals. There's a lot of people that could pull for you just because they see you a lot, even if they never buy from you. So it's just about having the right people to get to your profile. And the reason why we need to start accepting that to do this, we're going to need to create content is because if you don't do this, LinkedIn will limit how many people you can connect with every single week. So if you don't create content, you're limited to about 100-ish people a week. But if you do create content and your content is valuable, you could receive thousands of connection requests every single week and accept them. So there's no inbound limit. There's just an outbound limit because they don't want this turning into Instagram where bots are like, hey, I have another opportunity for you to get into this magazine or whatever. You just have to accept if you want to grow more than 400 people per month, you're going to have to create content. To create content that resonates with the right person is what we're going to cover today because you have to understand who that person is and how to position yourself for that person. The only way to grow and monetize on LinkedIn is to get more of the right people to your profile and have them take action. And I know I'm drilling this, but this is really this simple. The question really becomes, how do you get the right people to your profile? And once they're on your profile, how do you get them to take action on your offer? What you'll usually see are LinkedIn trainings that kind of tell you, go optimize your profile. That's the first step. But a lot of the times this leads to very nice looking profiles that have all of the cute designs and all of that. They had a graphic designer do their banner. They have a cute about section, but they are not necessarily speaking to the person that they need to speak to convert. So it leads to cute profiles that don't monetize. You got to do your photo, your headline, your banner, the about section, the featured section, all this stuff. You've probably seen this a million times. But the problem is we don't take a step back and say, what profile photo would resonate with who I need to attract? Because if I need to attract a Silicon Valley investor versus, let's say, my offer is for a stay-at-home mom, then I'm not going to choose the same photo. Also, the readability level of my profile may be for a stay-at-home parent versus an investor. I'm going to have to use different words. I have to speak their language. And so a lot of the times when people are focusing on, oh, I got to get on LinkedIn, I have to optimize, it's all about them. What they're not realizing is it's not about you. You have to put your prospect first because all of this is how do I choose these things in a way that will resonate and attract the right person. A pretty profile that even gets traffic will cost you. I have people that come to me, they're like, I get like 200,000 views on LinkedIn a month and I don't get any clients. And I'm like, let's change this. And the thing is that this is more dangerous than most people assume because let's just say you get 10 meetings. What's going to happen if you're attracting the wrong people to the meetings? Is the belief that you have in your business going to increase or decrease? Decrease. Is the belief that you have in your ability to sell going to increase or decrease? Is the belief that you have in your ability to market yourself going to increase or decrease? Are you going to be more or less motivated to create content to market your business? Are you going to show up with more or less energy when you show up to meetings with your clients or when you just engage with your family? This leads to dangerous territory where you're giving family attitude. You're giving everybody attitude. You're creating content and you're like, I gotta create this content. And then that content doesn't get clients because you have a bad attitude in your content. It's this perpetual cycle that just keeps feeding itself. And it's much more dangerous than people think. And on top of that, you're gonna waste the only two resources you can't get more of, which is time and energy. So before we do anything with that, we have to be strategic. Remember, LinkedIn, you're leveraging it as a tool to accelerate your business. That looks different at different stages of business. I have CEOs that come to me, they have boards, they don't need LinkedIn to generate clients for them. And their one goal may be to just leverage LinkedIn for brand awareness so that they could acquire top talent. I have other people that are literally just starting their coaching business. And so them getting one-on-one clients is their goal. There is no right or wrong when you're thinking about what am I going to leverage this tool for? But what we're not going to do is chase 5 rabbits because people come to me and they're like, I want to get a TEDx talk. I want to launch my book. I want to grow an email list. I want to also do B2B consulting. And workshops and retreats, choose one. One has to be prioritized. Who do we need to attract to achieve that goal with the least resistance? If my one goal on LinkedIn was to get more CEO type clients, then who do I need to be writing all my content for? A CEO with a team of 100 people. And the way that I do that type of content, the way that I position that type of profile is very different than positioning it for someone who may just be themselves in their business, like a coach or a consultant. Who do we need to attract to achieve that goal with the least resistance? When are they most likely to take action with the least resistance? And this is something that a lot of people do not talk about and a lot of business owners fail to even identify. Because unfortunately, most of the business and the marketing trainings have instilled this false belief that you have to educate people, that you have to pull them up a treacherous mountain to your offer, when there are people that are already almost at the peak and that are ready for your offer. I'll use myself as an example. The reason why that you hardly ever see me talk about LinkedIn profile optimization is because my top clients are way beyond that. They don't care about LinkedIn profile optimization. They're already on their way to be doing live video events and launching their newsletter. If I were just to talk about the beginning things of LinkedIn all the time, like how to create a LinkedIn profile, who am I going to attract? I'm not going to attract the LinkedIn evangelist that has had the profile for 10 years. When are they most likely to take action? I'll use Maria as an example. She's a speaking coach. When does speaking become important? For her, it's when they get promoted. They just went from engineer to now they're leading a small team of engineers. And for the first time ever, this introvert has to learn speaking skills to become a leader. We're not talking to them before they get promoted at all. We're talking to them in that timing window where they're going to say yes. This is really important. If you're getting calls, but they're like, I'll think about it, then you're getting people that are too early in the journey. It's not that important to them. Where are you going to lead them to? I don't need to go to your webinar, download your ebook, also book a call. Then when I get to your call page, you have a networking call, a podcast call. You're making me choose between 5 things already, and now I'm confused. Just one call to action. So what? Who, when, where? These are just some examples of creating one what. I want 5 high-ticket one-on-one coaching clients in Q2 who pay $15K each. I want to grow 100,000 followers in 12 months so that when I launch my book, I get 1,000 pre-sales. I want to grow my email list to 1,000 medical professionals who love nature in 6 months so that I could pre-sell my in-person retreat in October. So be as specific as possible. But without really defining what that one what is, you won't know who the right person is that you need to attract. Who do you need to reach or attract to achieve your one goal with the least resistance? And if you have clients, there's a very easy way to identify this objectively. All you have to do is look at your payment data. Look at the people, look at the top 20%. Those are the people that have paid you the most. What do these people have in common that the bottom 80% do not? And this gets deep, but it's not just what do they have in common in terms of title, like founder and CEO or coach or whatever. It's also what do they have in common in terms of their values, their beliefs, and the first problem that you help them solve. And if you are in business, I highly recommend that you record even the first prospect calls or conversations or coaching calls that you have with clients so that you can see these patterns and listen back and see how they framed how you can help them. And this is based on the data, not based on your feelings. And this is usually how we just help clients niche down and position themselves as who they need to be. So for example, I had a client, she came to me, she wants to do a bunch of B2B, this and that. When we looked at who the top clients that paid her are, they were all in nonprofit. They were all new CEOs within nonprofit, and they all had boards that they had to learn how to communicate with and build relationships with. This is how specific it needs to be. You should also be able to answer these critical questions about your top clients. What was the trigger that led them to buying? What did the people have in common? The ones that were like, yeah, let's do this. Where the resistance was super small. What was that thing? And what is the first problem that you helped them solve? because usually the first problem is the only thing that you need to market to get more people like them. So for example, Shankar and I do a lot more than LinkedIn. A lot of people come to us for a lot more than LinkedIn, launching group programs, building a private email list, so on and so forth. But the first thing that people usually want from me is LinkedIn. So what do I market? I market the first thing. The faster you can answer these two questions, the faster you will be able to monetize on LinkedIn. Because what we're basically doing is we are hyper-focusing on the type of person in the timing of their current situation or life who will be most likely to say yes to your offer. Not only that, they will probably be most likely to do the work required for your offer and for them to get results from your offer because they'll prioritize it. And then that leads to testimonials, referrals, and all of that. Because the other nightmare is if you get the wrong clients into working with you and then you don't actually thoroughly enjoy working with them because they just aren't willing to do the work required. That could be a nightmare. What is your call to action going to be? It's just going to be one. And it should be one that you have some type of evidence that works. So a consultation could be one. A marketing audit could be one. Subscribe to your newsletter could be one. Go to your webinar could be one. But the point is to choose one. By the way, you don't need to have a landing page to be successful on LinkedIn. We have several clients that close high-ticket clients of their own through the DMs. It could be a Calendly link. It could be a landing page. But ultimately, you should get to the point where when I just look at your profile for 3 seconds, I can answer almost all of these questions on my own. If we look at Maria's profile, we know that her one goal, the one what on LinkedIn, is to get private speaking clients. We know that who she is attracting are introverted leaders that lead teams who are in corporate speaking coach for introverted leaders. And with her content, we know the when, because she's always talking about, hey, if you just got newly promoted, you're now leading a team, so on and so forth. And then where, it's double there. Book speaker mastermind call. So I don't even have to scroll down one little bit to understand exactly what she's trying to do on LinkedIn. And if I have to really go on a hunt, or if it's like a Rubik's Cube for me to figure out exactly how you can help me or who I can refer to you, then that's a problem. And then a lot of the times people just believe that since 10 years ago, you could just have a consultation or a workshop or a webinar or whatever, and people would have the time to figure out whether they trust you or not on that thing. They don't put any effort into building that trust before the thing. But I can tell you that times change. Now, what you're going to have to probably do is earn people's trust before they ever even book a consultation with you. How do you earn people's trust at scale? The answer is content. I want you to understand, if you don't do the exercise of what really is the one thing that matters more than anything that I want to get out of LinkedIn within the next 90 days. And I would just do it 90 days by 90 days because you should be growing. So if over the next 90 days, the one thing that would make the massive difference in your business is just to land one huge B2B client, then so be it. That's our goal. Then it's who is that client? Just based on your evidence. When are they most likely to take this deal? And where are you going to lead them to? God bless you. Have a beautiful day. Ciao.